I'm Rafael Nocum. I'm working in Hamilton for almost a year now as a patient ambassador. My family from Philippines, but we live in Abu Dhabi for 17 years. My wife there's also nursed. My son and me as a restaurant manager. I've been promoted as a operational manager eventually. However, God plans different. We got the opportunity and we've been given a chance to live here in US. So definitely we're excited, and that's why we're here.
Rafael has been with our team for just over a year. He was recruited by Roger, our operations manager, for almost a year before that.
I got an application about 2 years ago, and then I gave him a call thinking that he lives here in Dalton. So he said he's out in New York and he's looking to move to a smaller city. And we talked once a month, twice a month. We were able to open a position for him so he can move to Dalton. He got hired as a patient service ambassador. And what the position does overall, they deliver trays to the patient on a daily basis, 3 times a day.
He takes care of our patients. He doesn't not only deliver the food, he helps them. He's been talked about by many other employees and has received care cards, heart cards from many, many members, just from how special he is with the patients.
He takes his job very seriously, so he comes into work, clocks in, he's ready to get the day started. He has a great relationship with the staff in the hospital overall and the food services, and he has created a great relationship with patients as well.
He has fun. He's always laughing. Everybody just rises and smiles when they see Rafael. So it's just infectious.
My father taught me, whatever that you're doing it right, doing it with perfection, even there's a hard situation you go through, God allows it. That's my father taught me. Even it's problem, it's a blessing.
Food Services typically delivers breakfast trays in the morning, even before shift change. Rafael was already making his food deliveries. In the morning, everything was okay. There was no issues, but typically those type of patients, we are given a heads up on what to expect.
I really sense that there's something wrong the patients going towards me. I find ways to stop the patient. I went back and then held the door.
These type of patients require a sitter. So the sitter came to get the patient's nurse, which was me. When I walked into the room, the patient was punching the sharps container box. And at that particular time, Rafael was at the patient's entry door, just making sure everything was okay. So I told Rafael I needed to make sure the patient was okay.
The nurse who's in charge for the patient, and they're just asking me to open. Instructor, please, you don't want to come inside. No, Rafael, I'm the in charge for the open it. I'm instructing you open it. Even I don't want, I just open it. But at least I have the control.
So he opened the door for me to the patient's room, but he standing right there beside me. This patient proceeded to take used needles from the sharps container and began to throw them at me. That is when I started to run back. At that particular point, Rafael shut the door to the patient's room and held that door so the patient wouldn't get out of the room and possibly escalate things further.
Suddenly, all the nurses are in my back and they're shouting, Rafael, please don't let the patient get out. So I just tried all my power and all my energy to be in the door and held it as much as I could.
When we receive the call, it rings directly to our office and it pops up on the screen, the security part and also the room number. And when I pick up the phone, the sound in her voice and the urgency of it, I don't even recall if we hang the phone up. I just laid the phone down and me and Officer Stevenson and Officer Dimon ran up as fast as we could to the second floor.
We don't really prepare for this in food service, public safety, absolutely. But he held that door with his foot against the wall with all his might for almost 3 minutes.
When we arrived up on the floor, we saw Rafael still holding the door, and nurses everywhere looked real frantic and scared. We grabbed the door and told Rafael that we would take over the scene from here. When I walked into the room, I noticed that water was going everywhere from where the faucet had been ripped off, wires coming out of the room, metal, just stuff tore all to pieces in there, and the individual backed up in the corner with a metal rod in their hand.
One of the biggest things I remember from it is once public safety got there and he knew that it was under control, he just went right back to his cart and just started delivering food again.
I can say with confidence what Rafael did prevented a horrific event that could have happened.
I did go find Rafael after everything had settled down, and I did tell him thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I don't think he realized how big of a thank you it was.
The nurses are crying, they're hugging me. To be honest, I'm not taking any credit of it. Yes, God sent me for a purpose.
But he just was very humble about the praise. He just smiled and he said, thank God, and if it wasn't from God, I wouldn't be able to do it.
When this incident happened, I know God sent me there in that particular door, in that particular moment. Then Lord, thank you so much. Now I know the answer.